Oh,
All right, folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans for the fans. I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and today we have a very special guest. I love having people who are influenced by music, who actually do music in professional wrestling, and I have one of the hottest rising up and coming stars. Wrestlers, get in line to have this man do your theme. It's my man, R8ed R. What's going on,
yo,
bro?
Conrad, thanks for having me, man. Like, what an intro. Like, when I go on these podcasts, I just be listening to the intros. Like, all right, yeah, that was hype right there. I'll take it. You put me over.
Hey, listen, bro. This is why we're here. I think a lot of people are gonna find out that you do really, really dope music,
Thank
and
you, man.
I want them to get to know you a little bit better. So I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to
Oh,
do this. I
yeah,
know you were in
yeah.
the studio last night, so
Yeah,
my
we got, I got a couple surprises. I don't think I can't really say anything about it, but in the next couple of days, you're going to be hearing a nice little joint coming up. So I had to, it was an emergency session last night, so I had to run and do that. Yeah, once you told me about today, I said, "Oh no, I got to make sure I do that tonight, so I can have today free to get this taken care of."
big facts. Hey, what's going on, Nelson? You finally awake for EPW. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for coming, Nelson.
Chris DeZuba's in the house as well. What's good, Chris? Thank you for
Hey,
joining us.
Chris.
Cactus, what's going on, bro? I see
He
you
was
in
the
there.
first person here. You got to give him his credit. He was the first person in here.
He was talking about we need more orange soda in the balcony. Get out of
Oh.
here, man. Living it up, huh? But thanks for joining, Cactus. I'm sure more people will begin to trickle in after this. I want you guys to know that today's podcast is sponsored by our good friends Manscaped. You guys can use my promo code EPW Show, get 20% off of all your Manscaped goods and free delivery. And make sure you guys show some love to some other podcasts. My boys, Everything College Basketball, Josh Burton, bringing you all the latest news in college hoops. So make sure you stick with them. I know that right now everybody's wondering if there's a season. Josh is covering it. So make sure you give his podcast a listen. And my boy Jesse from the Pro Wrestling Shoot, also check him out. He's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Show him some love. I'll have an ad for him at the end of this. And I also have a song that I want you guys to listen to by my boy R8ed R. So when you're listening to the audio version of this, it's going to be fire. I will put the whole actual song as the end of this. So make sure that you guys check that out for us as well. And powerslam.tv, same promo code EPW Show, 1 month of independent wrestling free on your boy. And you know what? Tell him R8ed R sent you too. Put him in too. You know,
independent wrestling was the collective was on there, right?
I don't know if they have that on it. I think that's on Fight, but Power Slam, you can find all the old school matches from people like of past. Like if you're a big fan of, that's how I found out who like Nyla Rose was in AEW, because I didn't know who some of these people were, and I went and looked it up on that website. Really dope.
Nice.
But we're here to talk with you, R8ed R. So let's get into some of this, bro. First, the name. R8ed R. How did you come up with this? How did you get to this name?
All right, so I don't really talk about my first rap name, but we here, I'm amongst family. I used to be Toys R Us, right? Like, cause my name is Russell, so I try to be clever. Like, all right, this is like around 03, 04. I'm in high school. I'm like, how can I? So the Toys R Us thing, but then I'm like, nah, I need to get serious. So wrestling has always been an influence of mine, and right around that time, that's when Ed started the whole R8ed R superstar thing. And he was my favorite at the time, one of my favorites of all time, actually. So I just felt like it was a way to do. I'm gonna grab that and have that influence from early on. I was, without even realizing what I was doing, I grabbed onto it, and it's like I've been in that direction ever since. So yeah, the R8ed R comes from the R8ed R superstar.
Big facts, man. My best friend's favorite wrestler is Edge, so I definitely know.
Yeah, that's why this year is kind of bittersweet. It was nice to get him back for a brief moment, but it's like, I don't know if the injury is too bad where he won't come back. But even if he does, it's like that kind of took some time away from his return, because he could have been wrestling this whole time. So it's like, but I was still happy to see that he did it though.
What's good, Ace? I appreciate you coming in, showing some love. One of the mods in the chat. Make sure you guys show Ace some love while he is in here as well.
Ace?
Yeah,
Not often,
I appreciate. Right? Huh?
Not Ace Austin, right?
No. Sammy Guevara has popped up in some before, but that's about it.
Nice. You better be careful with podcasts.
Yeah, you know how it goes, bro. I always have to tell my guests they gotta chill. Not you though.
Yeah.
But sometimes my boys be talking wild when we're doing a wrestling review. I'm like, yo, you gotta chill. But
Cancel Police will be here in no time, but they ready to get you.
Exactly. PR Nightmare said, "Why are you making us cry? Bringing up Toys R Us? He must miss the old classic toy store, man."
I never wanted to grow up. I was a Toys R Us kid. Oh no, I can't help it. Ice and trades and video games.
Big facts, bro. So coming up, we're gonna go kind of to the hip hop realm a little bit because if you guys didn't know, I'm a big fan of all types of music. I've interned for people for music. At one point in time, I wanted to do just strictly music growing up. And it's kind of what led me into podcasting a little bit. We can get into that another time. No one cares what I got to say about this. But
you keep saying that, we do care, man.
But as far as it goes for you, though, who were some of your like favorite artists growing up from like even a youngster till now?
So growing up, I know the first verse I ever knew word for word was "Old Dirty Bastard" from Fantasy. You know me and Mariah. That was the first verse I knew from front to back. I knew that. But like my favorites, Jay-Z, Nas, Cameron. Cameron is one of my favorites. I like Eminem. I had the whole Eminem. I went through the whole Eminem phase. I like Fab. Jadakiss is another one. So I'm in that area. Big Daddy Kane. I'm from New York, so that's a big part of that shaped a lot of my influences. I like T.I. as well. That was like one of the first Southern people I really gravitated towards. Like, so yeah, that's my guys right there.
Now, when you say T.I., what version of T.I. are you referring?
We talking about trap music. We talking about King. We talking about early on T.I. Like now, going to his daughter's appointments and all that. Now I can't really get with that stuff. But
no, listen, I'm a big T.I. fan too. Actually, you guys probably can't see it, but behind my TV screen right here, I actually have a T.I. King poster. See, a lot of people don't know.
That's one of my favorite albums. That album right there. That album is one of my favorite albums. Like front to back, you can put that on. You don't really got to skip too many songs. You can just listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Remember when it dropped? I'm like, yeah, this is it.
It's a classic, bro.
From the intro on.
Mm-hmm. That's a really great album. And some of your influences, man. I grew up with the same people. A big fan of Fab. Fab is someone who a lot of people said, like, when I used to rap, they would say that's who you kind of patterned yourself after. Or Mace. I would get a lot of Mace comparisons because I'm not like Mr. Energetic when you do it, but the lines are there and the delivery is there.
Yeah. And the funny thing about Fab that I don't feel like he gets enough credit, like the way he structured his rhymes in the early 2000s, everybody that came up after him was doing the same type of thing. Like, so you're not alone with having that Fab influence. If you came up in this area, Fab was one of those dudes from the Clue tapes, all those little mixtape freestyles. People was rapping like that a lot. Like that whole Desert Storm type of family thing all came from Fab style. So now as time goes on, I feel like he loses less of his importance, even though not even so much importance, but recognition. Like he should be honored more. I know everybody has like issues that they go through outside of music, but as far as musically, he should definitely get a little bit more respect and acknowledgement than he does, in my opinion.
No, I definitely agree with that. Real Talk's one of my favorite albums too by him. I have a lot of favorite albums that a lot of people probably wouldn't have up there, like Styles P, Gangster and a Gentleman. Definitely one of my favorites. Jadakiss, Kiss the Game Goodbye, and those are just their solo ones. Like I love it, man.
So you like We Are the Streets too?
Mm-hmm.
Because We Are the Streets is one of mine.
Yeah, that's definitely good. Jadakiss new album. Jadakiss new album, that Government Cheese joint, man, that one hit the soul, bro.
Yeah, Jadakiss. Busta Rhymes, The Big Bang. You heard that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's another one of my like probably my top 5 of albums. Like that's another one you can just put on and listen to it the whole way through. Like no skipping, no nothing.
I got to meet Busta Rhymes one time because of Spliff Star, and I was in a club. And I saw Spliff Star, and I was like, "Yo, Spliff, bro, when are you coming out with your album?" Blah blah blah. We started talking. Busta. Now it was so cool, bro. It was just a cool moment.
He did have a point where he was like making songs, right?
Mm-hmm. He was supposed to come out with a CD, and I was just asking him, like, "Yo, what happened with it? Is it coming out still or whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah, we're still working on it." And then he was like, "You want to meet Busta real quick?" And I was like, "That was dope," because I just because I knew him, I was interested.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Chat's dropping some of their favorites right now. PR Nightmare bringing up DMX. Yeah, I just heard a crazy story about DMX, Jay-Z, and Ja Rule, bro, that they could have like all been together at one point, and then
they were supposed to they did that one song together. It was supposed to be an album after that.
Right?
It's a song for the Belly soundtrack.
Yeah,
Blackout, I think it's called.
Yeah, but the Eagles were too big, man. They were
X and J. Like I think that was a little rivalry without it even being mentioned too much, because they was the two tops. It was the two top guys at the time, and that was right after Biggie passed. So it was like a lot of maneuvering to try to be number one in New York, and those were the two top guys. So I could see how they got that competitive energy, but also like they respect each other too. But like as far as doing the whole album together, like nah, we can't do that.
it's like what we said with wrestling, bro. There's always competition. There's always some type of competitiveness.
And I'm sorry, but just to interject something real quick. And the parallels is what made it something that I wanted to do, because there's so many similarities between the two crafts. Like, of course, we don't get physical with hip. Well, sometimes we do, but in hip hop, we don't get physical like that. But I feel like independent wrestlers, independent artists, just like a whole bunch of the stuff, so many similarities that somebody needed to like blend the worlds together. And I feel like I'm the one to do it.
Right. Chris DeZuba said Conrad is a country music legend. Chris DeZuba, I'll tell you something famous I used to tell a lot of older people who never like rap music. If you like country and rap are the same thing.
And more
Georgia line, sitting on their porch with their chains and their cars, riding around. It's the same thing as hip hop, bro. Exact same thing. So if you guys want to use that logic against someone, it hurts their soul, bro. They're like, wait, what? I'm like, it's the exact Honky Tonk with Dunk and Back That Ass Up are essentially the same song, bro. It's the same song. All right. Chris Zuba, Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J fan. Obi-Wan, original Biggie. I didn't see you sneak in here. What's good, Obi-Wan?
Okay, Obi-Wan.
Biggie, that's one of my favorites when we if I gotta do some karaoke.
What song?
There's two. If I can get bad, I'll do Machine Gun Funk. But if not, yeah. But if not, I'll do Hypnotize usually. I usually do that for like a work function. They'll be like, yo, I didn't know he could. And I'm like, yeah.
Hypnotize is a good song because it's popular enough where people could get it with. You might hit Machine Gun Funk in the wrong crowd and nobody know what the song you're doing. They're like, oh, what is that? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's gotta be the right audience for that one.
Yeah. But Hypnotize is a good choice. That's a one that could hit a bunch of people. That song was big when it first came out.
Oh yeah, man, I remember it when it was live.
Yeah, it was sad too. So with the Hypnotize, I always get a bit of sadness when I hear it, because like that's the song that remind me of him not being here, because that was the first joint that dropped. It was like right around the time he was just about to, like right after he passed, like right after the song dropped, he passed. So it's just like that song it's like a bittersweet feeling to it.
Right. I'm just looking at some of the things here. Fab song was throwback when he hits every state with the jerseys. Throwback this and throwback that. That's
another thing. That's another thing he did, that like the way he was dressing that influenced a bunch of people too. Like you gotta start giving people like they acknowledgement. Like with other coaches and stuff, they always highlight their older artists. And I feel like hip hop could take some of that too.
And we were talking offline about that. I think hip hop is starting to give older people more credit. I mean, maybe it's not mainstream, but there's something out there for you. Depending on what you listen to. Like growing up now, me personally, I love like Joe Budden's is one of my favorites. But I was listening to him when he was doing Triangle Offense with Fab and Paul Payne. Yeah, so it just depends on where you came from and how you grew up with it, man. Like I turned into a big Lupe Fiasco fan. I remember I was in college working, and it was probably like I was real young still back then. And somebody brought it to me. I'm like, dude, is that fake Pharrell dude? I'm like, I don't want to hear his album. He's like, and this dude was a punk rock kid. Like,
yeah, he was.
A punk rock kid gave me a CD. He was like, yo, you must listen to this, bro.
Nah,
and it changed the whole way I rap. It changed my thinking, like my mind process. And I was like, yo, this dude is it. And to this day, still follow him, love to listen to his music.
Like with Lupe, I was on from the ground floor, because certain people get like back then a Jay-Z cosign was a big deal for me. So he had one of those from the jump. So I'm like, all right. Then Kick Push hit. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this out. Like I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble, but like bootleg albums was a thing around then. So like I got like I definitely made sure, at first you get the bootleg if you don't know if you're gonna like the artist or not. I wasn't about to spend the whole 15, but I paid the 5 and I wound up liking it. Got it on iTunes later, so don't come for me. Like, don't come for me, please.
Let me show some
And
love
I'm
to my girl.
anti-piracy, by the way. Like, yeah.
No, you're good, man. Let me show some love to my girl Jocelyn in the chat. She said she misses that hip hop era. Big facts. Me too. Me too.
She said something about she was in a choir, a gospel choir. Okay, JJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Bringing
so
some
she was
soul to the
touring
chat.
the country.
She bringing some soul ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate everybody throwing their comments in on this. It's kind of different. Like, you guys are getting to see a different side of me, because I don't think I've ever expressed how much like I love hip hop and I was really into the culture of it. Let's keep it moving here though. Let's get back to wrestling a little bit.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite wrestling theme songs?
Oh, so it's funny. This was a question that was asking me yesterday. I was asking people if they want to hear me talk about it, because themes, I could talk themes forever. So I settled on the fact that Real American might be my favorite theme of all time. Like, which is, it sucks because of the whole controversy. But whenever I think about my favorite theme, that's always the first one that comes to mind. Like, it just feels so good.
Hold on, now I got to make sure I got the right version of it. It was like the WrestleMania 20 version.
No, Real American, the classic.
Oh,
the
you
classic
said Hogan, dude. I thought you said
Real
Benoit
American
for a second. Okay.
Oh, nah.
Oh,
Dude.
okay. I was like, wait, like Hard Rock? I was about to.
So wrestling themes introduced me. As a kid, I watched wrestling. So you hear all types of music. It introduces you to genres without you even knowing. I always credit wrestling and pop-up music for introducing me to other genres of music. Pop-up videos, you remember that from VH1?
Yeah. VH1, they give you the little pack.
And I would watch the episode to see the black songs. So this is what I would call them when I was younger, not knowing no better, like the R&B hip hop. But then I would be watching the whole episode, and halfway through, you hear the first song that really captivated me was Hall & Oates, Method of Modern Love. But it was because they did the METHOD. I'm like, hold on, I heard that before. Method Man stole this from them, and that was the first thing that got me into. I'm like, hold on, there's more music out there than what I'm aware of, and I wanted to get more.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the Hall & Oates, actually. People be surprised by that. I listen to them a lot.
Not surprised at all. They're great music.
Yeah, and my mother taught me the exact same thing. Like, when I would listen to something, she'd be like, you don't know nothing about this, though. And then she would play that, and then I would go back and forth. I'm like, oh, this is how you blend and how you make things different to get into it. So Hogan is your favorite of all time. Did you know that theme? Do you know who had that theme before him?
Yeah. Wyndham and Rotunda.
Look at that. That's a wrestling fan right there.
Yeah, this is my wheelhouse right here. We all
right. No,
so I got Real American. Rick Rude's theme from WCW, Simply Ravishing.
Oh, that's a classic, bro.
Yeah, that's another one. The Beverly Brothers. The Beverly Brothers theme. That's one of my joints. That's like
I know.
Yeah, that's what led to it, because I used to listen to it all the time. I'm like, nah, I got to do something to this. Modern day, I like the whole singing along to Judas. I really think that adds a lot. Like, I didn't like the song that much until people started singing along to it. So that's probably my favorite thing nowadays. Just the whole Shinsuke Nakamura theme too. The first one.
So good. People in the chat are putting some of theirs up. Let me see here. Nelson put Slow Chemical Cane and whatever by Chris Benoit. I know a lot of cats who like Chris Benoit. That's why I thought when you said the controversy thing at first, Hogan cut out, and I was like, wait, what did he say? And then as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, he must be talking about Benoit.
You know what's funny? When you see people say Slow Chemical, whatever usually follows. It's like those themes go hand in hand. You got a similar feel to them.
Yeah, those were great themes though for the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah, I also like Christian theme from around that time. The At Last.
Oh, are you talking about the instrumental one?
Yeah, with the opera singer.
My favorite for Christian was the girl version with the like, if you close
Bulletproof Blondes?
Yeah.
Bulletproof Blondes version, right?
Mm-hmm. I can't think. It sounded like a famous. It sounded like a famous group at that time. I can't think of who it was now. Everessence.
Oh yeah, it did sound like the Everessence girl.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they took the "Wake Me Up," the "Wake Me Up" side. I think that's the name of the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar. It's structured the same way.
Facts.
But
What's going on,
Christian
D?
is Christian is one of the guys.
That's my rap partner right there. So, and he
Oh,
was
what's
on
up, man?
the Dynamite review last night. So it's good, Derek.
You gotta get it. I gotta come out of retirement.
you tell him that he'll probably start laughing.
But nah, Christian is one of the wrestlers that always had good themes. If you think about it, because even when he went to TNA, his theme was good.
Right. Original Biggie put up Raven's theme. Raven's theme is actually another great theme.
I'm the one with the girl.
That one, but his WCW theme was basically Nirvana, though. Like,
Come as you are. They flipped "Come as You Are," but they had a bad habit of that because Even Flow was what is it, Diamond Dallas Page theme or Jericho's?
Smells Like Teen Spirit was DDP's,
and Jericho's was Even Flow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
That wild, bro, how they just got those songs like that, and nobody noticed back then that they did that.
Nah, I think people noticed, but they just like didn't care enough to say.
But nobody cared. Like today,
instantly. But we all knew. Like, yo, this is impossible not to know. Like,
dude, just so good though.
I can't say I knew because at the time I didn't know what Even Flow and that. Later on in life, when I heard it, I'm like, yo, this is playing Guitar Hero. I heard him, like, hold on, this sounds familiar. Like, oh, what is this? Like, oh, this Jericho song. Like,
let's see, Mia Yim, dude, Keith Lee's theme. I missed that, Jocelyn.
Nah, you can't you must mean Keith Lee old theme because generic rock song number one. Nah, I can't rock with that. Like,
I hope they really let him update his theme or whatever. Bianca Belair's theme slaps too. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Stephanie McMahon came out for the draft last week, right? I want all the guys in here to tell the truth. All the guys know the words to the beginning of Stephanie McMahon's song. We were all talking about. I'm like, how come everybody knows the beginning? I just laugh. Like every dude's like, yeah, you know this joint's all right though.
It's one of those foundation themes. Same thing with No Chance. As soon as No Chance hit, you singing along with it. Same thing with Shane. Here Come the Money. When he first came back, here comes the money. Everybody, you just know it. What?
Yeah, Shane always, and Shane's got tremendous hip hop influence, and Stephanie does too. Stephanie's a hip hop fan, and Triple H is the rock fan. If you guys can never tell that,
yeah, you could tell.
I knew D was gonna come in here fronting.
Like to get Kim to do that song when she did it, like. I like the new ones. I like his new song, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. But
it doesn't hit like the old one. The old one had like the violin. It was perfect.
At first it did though. When it first hit, when he first turned Hell and it hit, I'm like, yeah, I kind of rocking with it. I can't even lie. But it makes sense for them to change it because everybody was singing along with it all the time.
Yep, we got someone singing "King of the World" in here as well. Good stuff from the chat.
Nah, that's from that WWE Originals album. Like. You could take a lot of those songs to get rid of them. That's probably why I don't get the credit it deserves.
Who did? Was it Ice-T? The pimpin' ain't easy, man.
Nah, I like that though. I think that was from the Ruthless Aggression joint.
Was it? I remember. I think it was WrestleMania 2000. He came out and did the song for D-Lo and Godfather.
Pimpin' ain't easy, man. Yeah, that album was good too. I know Redman was on there. Man did.
Was that the one with Wyclef too? It doesn't matter.
That was my song. That's when they should have knew that they was gonna lose The Rock because he was dipping his toes into that Hollywood fountain early. Like,
listen, I'm telling everybody now, mark it down. It's happening with Roman too.
Probably.
He didn't get those teeth fixed for just because he felt bad about himself 30-something years later because he was already getting movie parts. He wants more.
That wasn't just for wrestling.
Exactly. So we talked about some of your favorite wrestling theme songs. Who are some of your favorite wrestlers though? Who influenced you? Because you are probably around the same age as me, and you probably grown up through all the different eras, the golden era, attitude era, ruthless aggression. So who influenced you like during your life? Like who were the wrestlers that you could say like this person?
I'm a Bret Hart guy first and foremost. Like, so around my time, like you said, we around the same age most likely. So he was the focal point for a little while. And I was a fan before, but I didn't feel that attachment to nobody till I felt like I took that journey with him. Because as I was growing up, he was coming up the card. Like he went from tag team, the Intercontinental to being a guy. So you watching that evolution, and while everybody left, it was like one constant that was still there. And it was either you picking him or you picking Sean. And I made my choice, and I stuck with it my whole life. Like, we don't do HBK over here. Like, I respect it, but nah, we not doing the HBK stuff. The straight Heart Foundation.
I can't, man. Listen, me and my brother got into a big fight at WrestleMania 12. I'll never forget that night. He was tight. He was crying. I'll never forget.
I was hurt. I was hurt too.
Yeah, I definitely.
But I didn't see it live. I came to school the next day, and they was telling me, but I couldn't understand. I'm like, so if it was tied, he kicked him when he got back in the ring. I don't understand. It doesn't sound like that's supposed to happen. Like until I seen it afterwards. You know, you had to wait for it to come out, and you had to rent the tape from the video store. So it was a real, like it was a while before I actually seen what happened. But I knew it wasn't right. I'm like, hold on, this is not right. So there's no scene right about that.
Yeah, man. I'm a Shawn Michaels guy, so it always hurts, man. It's
all right. So
you kind of
thanks for having me. Thanks for having
me. Signing out, folks. But very, very interesting things here. So was there anyone else after Bret Hart though? Because that was probably your younger generation. So what happened after that to you?
So it was the Bret, and then I held on to Bret. So when he went to, and also, so I used to have to go to bed at 9 o'clock. So on Mondays, I would get the first hour at WCW, and then I'd just be, you know what I mean, like having to wonder what happened. So I fell in love with the cruiserweights. So it was Jericho. It was Jericho for me early on too. So I had the young Jericho. So it was Jericho and Bret. Like all the Canadian wrestlers, apparently, like Edge. Kurt Angle was another one of my early ones too. And you know, when you were a kid, you into the big characters. So I guess I could count Hogan and Savage and all that stuff from then. As I got older, that's when the Ric Flair stuff start coming in. I used to be big on the DVDs, the WWE DVDs. I used to work by Kmart, and every copy of whatever one they had, I bought one of the copies they had. I wound up coming along to Ric Flair, that first Ric Flair collection, and 3-disc one with all his matches on there, and that's when the Ric Flair influences started pouring in. Like he always was around, and he was always entertaining, but you know, until you get a mind for the business, you don't really understand what you like watch entertaining. You just watching it for the entertainment factor. But then I'm noticing how he's putting everybody over, his interviews, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is one of my guys. So retroactively, he started getting in there.
Right. Ric Flair is a legend in the business, doing big things. And when you start thinking about all of this, so you're growing up, you're influenced by wrestling and everything else. How did you get initially involved in music? If we can flip it back to that a little bit.
So high school days, you know, I had some friends that rap, and initially I started off as a hype man. I was supposed to be, I was out there, only child. So, you know, they used to treat me like, hey, you crazy, we need that energy. So I started off as the hype man, but I used to be around the creative process. And as more as I see it keep happening, I'm like, oh, maybe I should try to start doing that. So I didn't say anything at first. I used to just write on my own. And I just started writing. And next thing you know, I'm like, yo, I'm part of the group now. They're like, what? Like, yeah, I'm part of the group now. Like, I'm not just the hype man anymore. So I kind of strung on my way into it. And now fast forward all these years later, I'm the last one still rapping. Like, so like, yeah,
I can remember some of those first raps, man. I think I started when I was 12, maybe. I tried to do them. You know, those corny ones where you'd be like, got my Tic Tacs, have a pop them in my pocket, you know, just stuff like that.
Yo, funny thing, before I started rapping, I would, like, my favorite verses, I would listen to them over and over and write down. Like, I had a book and I would just write down like the verse word for word or try to decipher it. So before I even started rapping, I already kind of knew how to structure a verse just from that practice. Not me even knowing that I'm gonna be rapping soon. It just was something that I wanted to do. So with that, I don't know. From the beginning, I was able to structure my verses, like count the bars out. Because, you know, you get people sometimes when they first start, they don't really know how to format it. They just rap until they finish, until they done rapping.
That was me. I would write lyrics, but I would write everything so proper that it would be like, yo, you got to cut some words down and cut things out. And then eventually
it's all part of the learning. Yeah, it's all a part of the learning. But my first rhyme is like, I had said Lex Luger in the first line. So my life has been pretty much mapped out without me even realizing it. I just happened to do it, say Lex Luger with the Ruger, because I'm known to flex. So I thought that was like, I thought that was the greatest line ever when I first started.
I like it. I always smile at a good wrestling pun when I
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
them.
and that was the first line that I liked in my first line. Even my friends still laugh at me about that because it's like, yo, like it's funny that you did that without even knowing that's what you was gonna do. But I always wanted to incorporate, like with my name being what it was, I just felt like that it was different for me to always to incorporate the things to my life that I enjoy
Yeah.
into my music. And rapping about shooting and selling drugs and the B word and all that. Like, nah, I ain't. Everybody does that. I wanted to always like being only child helped me be an individual. So I always just wanted to be myself, like do things that I wanted to do, and maybe somewhere out there someday somebody would enjoy it. So I just honed in on what I wanted to do, and here we are.
Yeah, there's definitely a market for it, for exactly what you want to do and what you want to produce. So we talk about wrestling themes, and I know that you have your own that you've done for some other people. If you had to tell people some of the tracks to check out or the ones that mean the most to you, which ones would you bring up that you've personally done?
Oh wow, that's a great question. So it's always this world is what have you done for me lately? So I dropped the Nation. I collaborated with Wrestling Bios. It's a channel on YouTube. Make sure y'all check it out. I'm sure you're pretty sure people already heard of it because he has a bigger following, way bigger following than me. But somebody heard Messiah Complex, which is another song I would recommend. So the Nation, Messiah Complex. Somebody heard Messiah Complex. It was like it would be nice if y'all collaborated. And one thing led to another. So we actually dropped our first collaboration on Sunday. It was the intro to the video he did about Rocky Maivia transitioning to the Rock, basically. So he told me the idea of the song. He told me the idea of the video, and I made a song for it. And the song actually wound up fitting perfectly. So I would recommend The Nation because that one's doing really good right now. Um, Beverly, when you said that, yeah, I think Beverly's one of my good joints too. I have a couple songs that did the viral thing. Matt Hardy was one of the first wrestlers to retweet one of my songs. Like when he first did the Broken Universe, like right before Final Deletion and everything, it was like the build up to that first pay per view. I seen it, I'm like, nah, this is something right here. So I did a song for Matt Hardy. He retweeted it, and that was the first time that I got like a lot of people listening to my music. I'm like, oh. So after that, from there, I did a song for Brutus the Barber Beefcake, which is actually another one of my favorite ones too. Like, because he asked me for it personally. So that's another one I recommend. It's called The Barber. And it's like other than that, I could just keep going on and on. Finn Freeze. I think one of the and I got one coming out October 30th that I think is gonna be that's the artwork. So I know they probably seeing me in the mask. Like I don't normally wear a mask. I just got it off for the video. But yeah, it's a movie, man. We did something real nice with that.
Okay, yeah, people got to be on the lookout. I got all your stuff down below in the description box for people who want to check out everything.
Nice.
So usually we do a little bit of a word association game, so I'm going to get it in right now with you. I'm gonna just bring up a name and you tell me what you think. And a lot of the names you have brought up, so I think things work out in mysterious ways.
I've been telling people close to me lately, like I don't know, things just seeming so like I'm making the moves, but they seem like they got it by something. I don't know what, but I feel like I'm just stumbling upon things and it's just happening. It's no more than a coincidence because it keep happening. So I'm glad that I mentioned some of these names. I'm ready.
All right. First one I wrote down was Bret Hart.
Oh, the best is, the best that was, the best that ever will be, without a doubt.
Easy work.
Without a doubt.
Let's go to Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Screw Bret.
Dipset is what I wrote down.
Oh, Cameron, like, so I know he's not the greatest rapper of all time. He's my greatest rapper of all time. Like, so yeah, Dipset is good with me.
Yeah, I just saw he had that video where someone asked if he still had it. The young kid asked him if you still got it.
He came out
and had to light him up.
My God. I was so happy to see that. Like, he still had it. His voice sounds a little weird nowadays, but it's still him. It just, I don't know. It sounds different on tracks. It sounds different on tracks now, though.
I was a fan when he came out with What Means the World to Me, so I can't.
So funny stuff. My mom's used to work with his mother. And before he was famous, my mom's brought home a camera on tape of like his demo. I don't think it was a demo tape because it was a little bit more professional than that. But Horse and Carriage was on there and other stuff. And she was like, I don't know. And then just from there, it was like, oh yeah, that's my guy. It's always something like that where you make a connection with somebody early on and you just grow with them.
Right. What's good, Sick? I see you joined us as well. Appreciate you, bro. How do you feel about Jay-Z was the next name I have written down?
Oh, so I said Ken was my greatest, but the greatest of all time is Jay-Z. So yeah, he's up there too. My upper echelon of MCs. Like, how could you not? He's showing us how the model of an MC getting older, because hip hop is still a young culture. So we don't really. This is like the first example of how you can age and still make music. It was an expiration thing on rappers before. Run DMC wasn't making music forever. It got to a certain point where it was like they just got phased out. But he's still going. He's been doing it longer than they have been consecutively. If you look at it, it's just as we get older, we'll like more MCs to be following that path. But so I'm glad that he's there to set that example.
Listen, he got my money. My wife wanted to go to that Beyonce Jay-Z dual concert, and I was like, "Well, Jay's gonna be there for me, Beyonce for you. It works."
And you know how probably millions of households worldwide was going under the same guys. Like, all right, I'm gonna be there for him. She's gonna be there for that. Like,
yeah, raking in the money. Sick brought up. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this up real quick. He's bringing up Kendrick Lamar. I was like that with Kendrick Lamar when he dropped Section 8. Yes, bro, Cathedral. If you listen to, you know what I'm talking about. That's my favorite song on there.
Yeah, ADHD was the one that got me. I'm like, oh, okay. This guy got something.
Yeah, I agree though. Like Kendrick's definitely one of my favorites now. Eminem.
Oh yeah, Marshall. I love Marshall. I don't really like much of his recent stuff, but Prime Marshall was that guy. I think as the older I get and the more I'm into it, I feel like he was taking shortcuts with the subject matter because he can pretty much say anything. And that's a crutch as an MC to just be able to say anything, because a lot of rappers can't just say anything and get away with it. So I think that kind of hurts him when you look back on his projects. It's like, all right. But Encore is like a flawless album to me, because that's like his most hip hop album. He kind of cut out all of the gimmicks and it was just like a straight hip hop album. And it doesn't get a lot of respect, but I like Encore a lot. So yeah, Eminem is good money in my book.
I'm not a big hater of that album, but I will say I think Eminem now, I think the problem with him is that crutch that you said he leaned on. I think that crutch has been kicked from underneath him now, and he can't do whatever he wants anymore.
And you notice how much it was like, I always try to discredit what people would say that, but when he can't do it as much, you notice how much he needed it before. So it makes his past catalog look a little shaky when you start breaking it down like that.
He's got the hot cold syndrome a little bit. Like if he comes out with something, sometimes he's coming, I'm like, oh, this is fire. And then there's other ones where I'm like, you missed the mark.
Perfect example when he dropped the one with the plane crash. I don't know what I forgot what the Kamikaze.
Kamikaze was great.
Kamikaze. The song Chloroseptic. He did the song Chloroseptic. The first one was horrible. Then he did the remix when he was like a little inspired after he got some of the reviews from the album. And it's like, yo, it's the same song. If you just did that the first time, you wouldn't have been in this position. Like,
right. I think he's fueled though by that stuff, by the comments. Like he
said that on that verse. He says that too. He says how the bad press and stuff fuels him. But at some point, you gotta just be able to self motivate too.
Yeah, him and Joyner Lucas joint was my favorite off of that. Like I'm a big Joyner Lucas.
That's a good song. That's a good song. Like, see, he has some joints on there, but the whole project is it's not really. I can't really rock with the whole one. And if you remember, he dropped the album this year.
Right.
In January, and you can't even, it don't even seem like it.
Yeah, because this year's been 2020's been a blur though.
Yeah, really.
Ace brought up the name John Legend, so you know what? I'm gonna throw Aces in there. What do you think of John Legend?
He's just an ordinary person.
Ba-doom-tsh.
No.
I like John Legend.
My thoughts and prayers with him and his wife when they were going through a tough situation recently. But I don't really got nothing else to say about him. Like,
right?
He can play the piano well. Good job with that. Like, I don't know.
Vince McMahon.
We was born on the same day. That's my guy.
Okay.
He's like my grandpa. Like he grew up in a different time. The world changed, and he's too old enough to care about it. Like we all shit on the. We all don't like the product as much, but you gotta still respect everything he did for us. And the day he dies is gonna be a sad day. So I just tolerate him so we don't have to anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping one day he just decide to go home. Like, don't
I
wait
don't
till
think
you die. Just leave. Like, you don't have to die on the job. You can just go home. Like, enjoy some time. I want for him to be able to enjoy at least a couple years without having to be all in the mix. But I don't think he's gonna get it either. I think he's gonna die probably going from a show like to another show or something like. So
yeah, Vince is never one to rest on his laurels, man. I'm telling you, like he's
sure. You seen the product lately? You seen the product? Oh,
but he thinks he's doing something though. He's old.
Yeah.
He ain't moving like he used to, staying up all night. And Vince is a wild dude. Next person's name I got up here is the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, I wasn't really a fan of him growing up. I'm glad I was able to see through all of that because having that Bret influence, lean more towards that. And I was a Hogan guy because he was first. And as you a kid, I'm like, I'm Hogan. So when he beat Hogan, I'm like, you still taking everything kayfabe then. I'm like, oh nah, he beat Hogan and made him leave. So I was like, I like more of the technical wrestling aspects of it. So I respect the character, but I'm not really a big fan. And also the self-destruction of Ultimate Warrior DVD, like that was around one of those DVDs I got from that Kmart. So it was kind of unfair, but at that time it helped shape how people was think about him too, which wasn't right. Because you take a lot of that and you talk about how he held Vince up and everything. So yeah, my feelings of him is like I'm sad that he died. Like the way it was tragic. At least we got to see him that last time though.
Yeah, shout out to the video game. That's the reason why they like brokered that relationship to get him in the Hall of Fame, and like it felt like a great send off, kind of.
Yeah, because at least 2K can do something right. Because when it comes to making games, they're not really so good at that.
Facts. Triple H, Ace brought up, so I'll let him. I'll give him that one too.
It's all about the game, how you play. I gotta stop doing that. But so I've been pointing out that Triple H is basically Shane Douglas, and I don't know if people realize that. He's basically Shane Douglas.
Give me the reason why.
All right, so Francine, Stephanie, right?
Okay.
Right. I feel like the whole approach, like we had Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. The game, the franchise. I just know there's a lot of similarities, man. I think he was carrying himself like Shane Douglas-esque. Like he took it a lot further.
Shane Douglas being the Triple H of ECW, I can see that.
Yeah, and that was before him. So I feel like he took something from there, and he made it his own. But I definitely think it's a lot of Shane Douglas influences just from the promo style and all that. Triple H wasn't cutting promos like that.
Right. Original Biggie said, "Don't get me started." I know he's a video game streamer, so he said, "Don't get me started about WWE 2K."
Yo, like, I don't know if anybody from there is listening, but how can y'all just put GM mode back in the game? It don't even have to be like, I don't want universe, none of that. Just put the regular GM mode back in the game. Like, why is it so hard for them to do that? Let us set up our rosters and just have the best show. Like, why should we have to go back to 2007 to play GM mode? That doesn't make sense. Like, give us what we want. I know I'm not the only person asking for that.
They know they can see the YouTube analytics.
Yeah, I know
everybody's streaming the old stuff.
We just want GM mode. Like that would get so much goodwill from doing that. Like even if the game is the same game, people would buy off the fact that you can play GM mode, and they would ignore some of the problems with the game just because y'all finally did something that we want y'all to do.
Facts. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, the Macho Man. Yeah, he's another one. So my first memory of wrestling is the angle with Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man. Like I remember watching it with my parents, and that kind of has the reason why I've held on to it. Both of my parents are no longer here, so I kind of use it as a way to stay. You know what I mean? It's like something we used to do together, so I always hold on to that. And my whole life that been kind of, it helps me. You know what I mean? Still feel like connected to them in a way.
No, I respect it, bro. You remember all those moments with your parents watching wrestling and stuff. I can tell you a crazy one. This is weird now. Me and my dad were watching. My dad watches wrestling with me, even from time to time. Like yesterday, he wanted to watch AEW with me. He's like, "Oh,
Nice.
no, sit with me for a minute." I was like, "All right, I'll sit down for a minute."
Nice.
What are we gonna say, right? So we were talking, and I remember we were watching Razor Ramon versus some dude named The Kid. And my dad was like, Razor Ramon is gonna crush this dude. And I was a little kid back then. I'm like, anything can happen in the WWF. And I'll never forget Razor missed that move into the corner. He did the moonsault and he became the 1-2-3 Kid. And my dad was like, "Oh my God, you were right. How did you know that?" I was like, "I don't know. It just happened."
Made a whole angle out of it. Like, you see how simple it was back then?
Yeah.
You put him over and he got a whole career out of that. But he was talented. It wasn't like that was all that it took. But the talent plus the actual desire to get you over, you could get over. I don't know what they be doing nowadays.
He's on my underappreciated list for sure, Sean Waltman.
Yeah. Nah, but X-Pac Heat was the real thing though. It's called that for a reason. Like, it did definitely get bad at one point.
Was it the Uncle Cracker theme? You think that's probably what?
It's part of it's around that time with the Tory, him and Tory, how they did Kane. I'm like, I don't know.
So I got two more for you. One, ECW.
Oh, I was just talking about this. Like, so we from the same area. So you remember the excitement where you would ask for like Friday night, maybe Saturday night. I would ask to stay up late, never knowing if the show was actually gonna come on or not. So it would be like a surprise when it actually come on, because I don't know what it was about ECW or MSG, but it wasn't consistent. It'd be on some weeks, then some weeks it wouldn't be. So I would ask. I couldn't stay up every weekend. So the weekends that I could stay up and see ECW was amazing. So yeah, I got a lot of memories with it. Watching it grow.
When you had TV Guide too, so you had to sit there.
That's before the Preview Guide channel. You couldn't even bring the TV Guide channel up yet. That's how early that was. Like, that's how long I was watching it. I had a friend, my best friend. His name is Jason. His father was a big wrestling fan, so he used to tape everything for us. So that's how my friend came to school one week. Like, I know I've seen a wrestling that's real. That's the first way he brought it to me. I said, "What you mean a wrestling that's real? Isn't it all real?" He was like, "No, for real, for real." So we went home after day and we saw the tapes, and it was Tommy. It was like, I know it was something with Tommy Dreamer and Raven, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I like the guy with the group. I like the guy with the group." And I was in there from that moment on. So seeing I was a big eliminators guy when I was younger. Just for the total elimination, like that move. You never see a tandem offense like that. Like, it's usually like a slam and a splash, or you pick your partner up, or a double suplex. But like tandem strikes was rare at that time. So yeah, I was
bro, there's no protecting yourself from that. Like that, when you saw those moves, you were like, "Yo, there's no way I would let someone even do that."
Oh, he was like the introduction to somebody telling you, like, I know a wrestling that's real. As a kid, I was in. He was like, they let the fans bring weapons. I'm like, they can bring weapons to the matches? Because remember, they used to let them bring the frying pans and everything too. So yeah, ECW was another. Oh, this word association is great. You got all good words.
Yeah, and my last one is AEW. Oh,
I watched the anniversary show last night. So they give me something that I desire from wrestling. I just wish that it was coming from everywhere. Like, storytelling, they really do a good job telling stories. That Orange Cassidy Cody match last night, I was on the edge of my seat, and it took me a lot to get invested in. Usually I'm watching them like, I was really watching, because any of those towards the end, any of those finishes was believable as the one. So I'm like, they really had me. They had me engaged the whole
Those
match.
time limits remind you of those WCW Saturday night like TV title matches and stuff. It reminds me of my childhood, bro. Because once you got over, you're not thinking how Saturday.
The way it was executed, a lot could have went wrong in that last spot when they did when he tied him up and his hand came down after it was already the time had passed. Like, the amount of work that went into it, the way they built it up, the whole lockup, the beginning with the lockup, the false finish at the end where he worked the leg the whole time for when it was time for him to hit the orange bunch, he stumbled a little bit. Like, just the whole, I'm like, that was just an excellent piece of work right there.
Good storytelling.
So, the company I enjoy. I enjoy AEW. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yes. Let me see here. My man Sonny Bimbo's in the chat. What's good, Sonny? Sonny said ECW in Boston came on at 2 a.m. on Saturday nights, bro.
That's no reason why. Y'all lucky. y'all got a consistency. We didn't get that consistency. Like, it was sporadic.
Don't let a game go into overtime. No
Yeah, that's
ECW
it.
tonight.
You're not gonna see it till next weekend. Like it was. I'm lucky for you in Boston people.
And you only got 3 matches too, usually, because they were
Yeah,
like matches.
and even most of it was advertisements for their tapes. They would be advertising their tapes most of the time.
Okay, 6 coming with a question. He said, "Who do you guys think should be at the top of the WWE that isn't right now?"
You want to go by brand, or you just want to go in general?
Go ahead. Tell me who your favorites are. Who would you put up there?
So like there's like real answers, like hypothetical ones where you like a guy deserves better, and then there's real ones like things that you can actually feel like happen. So Chad Gable is a guy that deserves better. Period. Like I don't think it ever happened, but but he's just like well, I wish he could. Like people that I believe actually could happen. I think I want to see Kevin Owens like with a run as a face, like as a top guy. Like he deserves it. I'm a Seth fan. He gets treated well, so I can't really ask for much. And hopefully one day because she's my favorite wrestler right now. So I'm hoping that he gets a chance to run, like be the top of NXT, and possibly he gets treated well when he comes up. Nakamura deserves better. AJ Styles, he's been treated correctly, so I can't really complain too much about that. And some of these people, I just feel like they've gotten opportunities. I just want to see them get proper runs though, like a real
Cesaro would be another one I would add in there.
But that's another one of the ones that I don't think would ever really actually happen. Like it's supposed to, he should, but at this point, if it didn't happen by now, he's not gonna look at him and say one day and just be like, yeah, he's gonna be my champion. I think that ship sailed. When he first came back with the siren, that it was a fatal 4-way, and he was like the last person. When after he was injured for a while, he came back. That was the time, and they didn't capitalize on it. But he had a chance. That was it right there. I think that was like around 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Even 14 to 15.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. Hopefully they figure out what to do with some of these guys, because you know what? Some of them aren't getting any younger either. Like it's like, hey man, you only got these guys for a certain amount of time. Yeah. But there's a new game in town, so maybe they'll end up going somewhere else one day and prospering there.
Yeah, but eventually they're gonna have so many people. I really feel like they at that point where they got too many people. AEW.
Well, they're getting that second show soon too.
Yeah. But even with that, it's an extra hour. So you don't need to bring. I don't feel like they need to bring more people in for that. You need to highlight some of the people that's not getting it and get some of the highlights.
I think they're just fighting over that AEW dark time, and they're just like they want to keep dark for those matches to improve.
Yeah, which is cool. But Angelico been on a roster for years to change, and he don't get to do much. I think that's a guy that could do something if given a chance. I like Angelico. I don't know.
Yeah, Lucha Underground, bro. When he dove off that roof.
Yeah, like you got to give him. They got to give him a little bit more.
I think eventually though, and you know who, Jack Evans took a lot of the blame. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter for why they weren't on TV and stuff. So I thought that was big of him.
Yeah, he was hurt. He was hurt, right?
Yeah, and he put all the blame on him. I respect that. That's a big guy thing to do, to like go out there and just say, you know what, that's what it is, man.
It doesn't change the fact that I still wanted to see him though, and hopefully when Pac can get back soon.
Yeah, we need him back because he put on some great matches.
See? You know what I'm talking about? You see the message you put up? Like, you'd be surprised. Like, you would expect it to be on it, then you would get some bullshit. Like, whoa, where's the show?
They would say it, and then you're watching skincare commercials and stuff.
You're watching the end of a hockey game. Like, I don't want to watch this, man. I don't care about
the Rangers.
Yeah, I don't care about the Rangers. I want to watch it. I want to see ECW. Show me the Sandman, please.
Sick, I will say yes to this. He said, do you think it's too much talent that they know what to do with?
AEW? No, I think that
I think with all of them. I think wrestling's flooded with talent right now, and it's just like,
I don't think that is too much for them to know what to do with. They just don't want to do something with the people that we feel is talented. Like, for whatever reason, the people we see stuff with, they find things that they don't like about them, and they focus on the bad parts instead of highlighting the good, which is what you're supposed to do. If you're running a company and you know a worker is good at making salads, why would you put them on steaks? Put them back making salads where you belong. Like, and I don't think they do that. They have people doing stuff, or they have them in places not highlighting the good parts. And then when you're doing that, it's easy to pick something apart.
Now he said Dark should be the second show. I love AW. I feel they don't have enough heavy hitting talent for a second main show. Sick. The reason they do that though is because they want the money from the second show. You're gonna get paid from that. You're not getting paid from you. You're getting YouTube revenue, but you know how that goes. Like,
nah, but you could keep Dark the same and make the second show. Like, say for instance, you can make that the TV title show, and that just be like a weekly TV title defenses or something like that, where you don't got to split the roster up. They can still do both, but there's things you can do where certain people will be highlighted on one show more than the other, and you can spread it out that way. You got enough tag teams where y'all could do, where y'all can have tag team matches on both shows and not use everybody twice a week, so everybody can still work a lot.
And you know, people are gonna, when they first started, they're gonna have Moxley and all those guys on that second show to start with, so that you want to watch it. And I see people repping the Derek Order. Make sure you guys get your shirts from tpublic.com. We got those Derek Order shirts up. Let's put a cap on this though, bro. I've had fun talking with you, but I want to know what's your inspiration though for what you do. You put out a lot of great music for pro wrestling, and I just want to know what's been your inspiration behind why you do what you do.
I appreciate you asking me that. With my inspiration, it comes from wanting it to be somewhere where people like me can have a music that they enjoy. Like, you know how Wu-Tang took the Kung Fu and they made it, they worked it in seamlessly where it's just a part of their identity. And people don't look at it and they don't frown upon it. It's just what they are. I'm trying to do that with pro wrestling and hip hop the same way. Where after a while, it's not such an oddity that somebody's doing it. It's just like, you know what I mean? We got a whole group of people that do it, and we got our fan base. And people, like all the fans, they get something they could enjoy, because the parallels is like, it's too much. They run too concurrent to not have them be intertwined. Like, and I want to be part of the people that help steer that in the right direction and make that a possibility, make that a reality.
Yeah, man, I would definitely love to see it. And I think with all of the influence in it, I could see like a 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse album with like R8ed R, Mega Ran, Easy, Wrestling Flow. Could you imagine the 4 of you on an album, a mixtape together?
The funny thing, right? I had an idea like called the 4 Pillars, because you know Old Japan had the 4 Pillars of Heaven, and I thought about those 3 guys. I'm like, yo, that would be good. Like I said, I can't say too much, but you'd be surprised. There's some things coming in the works a lot sooner than you might expect. So just be on the lookout. Like, I can't say nothing else, but just be on the lookout, man.
Listen, TZ, if you're listening, bro, just cut me a little check, or at least let me get the album for free. That's all that I asked for, bro. And last but not least,
if TZ don't want to do it, then I'll get you one of my copies, all right?
my man.
You know, TZ big time. You know, TZ the man, so he might not be able to do that. I got you, though.
I appreciate it, bro. What's next for you though in the game? So what do you want? What's your next like goal you want to accomplish? What's the next move you want to make?
Next thing is the video, October 30th. And December is my next album, the Arnold Palmer album, the APA. That's on the way. The Arnold Palmer comes from Ice-T, Lemonade. Ice-T is the pro wrestling, Lemonade is the hip hop. You want to mix it together, make one whole album. That's what the blend is, coming in December. It's not right Ice-T weather, but it's coming.
Listen, we're from New York, bro. You could have had that Arnold Palmer anytime, bro. You know how it goes.
Yeah. I'm giving the world one nice and cold in December. A nice cold glass of that Arnold Palmer.
Right. Now, I want you just to tell the people, where can they find you? Where can they find your best work at? Promote yourself here, bro.
All right. So R8ed R _ on all social media platforms. It's R8ed R _ You can check me on SoundCloud, R8ed R Productions. And that's where a bunch of, like, I used to do a song every Friday. That's where all that stuff is located. And as far as everything else, you come to my links and I got everything there for you. You don't even got to come see me on YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. It's all the same name. R8ed R. Yeah, R8ed R, man. R8ed R _
Man, listen, bro. We're gonna have to link up again. Maybe we could talk a wrestling show next time or something too. And you can bring me
give me on one of those post shows. I watch everything every week, so you want to give me on one of those post shows? I'll be more than willing to do it.
Yeah, I like to link up a lot of times. Like I do roundtables and stuff too to discuss.
I'm here for that.
Big pay-per-views and stuff like that too,
I'm
man.
here for that.
Link up.
I'm definitely here for that.
But R8ed R, man, I appreciate you doing the show.
All
like
right,
I said,
thank you for the opportunity, man. Appreciate it.
Listen, bro, it's all love. I'm sure we'll be working together in the future on something.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm glad that we got to talk. We got to really talk hip hop. Like I don't get to do that often, like in a public forum. So that was cool to get to actually talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about hip hop, man.
Yeah, I told you, like everybody probably wanted to hear something a little bit different from it. So I wanted to make sure this interview was special for you, bro. Make sure you guys check out all of his stuff down in the description below. Show him some love, leave him a like, subscribe to his channels on Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
I'm on all of that stuff too. Yeah, I'm on all that stuff.
But for me and R8ed R, we are out. Thank you for joining us. Peace.
Peace.